You are welcome to my YouTube channel, Next Connect Institute. In this presentation, I'll focus on policy development. It's also important that you subscribe, like, and share this channel so that you are notified of any new video that will be posted. Policy development becomes critical in an organization's operations, and the term policy can be simplified as a guideline. Some of the objectives that we'll try to go through: number one, we'd like to define what policy development and analysis is. We'll also want to explain the purposes of policy development, the process of developing a policy, its implementation, and analysis. By definition, a policy is a general plan of action that is used to guide the desired outcome. It is basically a guideline or rule used to make decisions. The purpose of having a policy in an organization would, one, include providing standardization in the day-to-day operation or activities. Secondly, policies or guidelines will provide clarity on matters that may have issues, and therefore it becomes clearer to all individuals working in an organization. Apart from this, policies are used to communicate to employees the desired outcomes of the organization or the expectations of a particular organization. Policies also communicate challenges as to why certain goals are not accomplished in an organization. Apart from these purposes, or the reason why we need to have policies, policies can also help employees or subordinates understand their roles and responsibilities in an organization. What could be the well-defined way of having a policy? Policy development becomes critical. There are four main steps or stages to ensuring that an effective policy is developed. The first stage in policy development is identifying a problem. Secondly, formulating a policy. Then thirdly, implementing the policy and also implementing any changes. Then lastly, evaluating the policy and the results. And it's important to take note that each step that is attained during policy development is followed by another step in a systematic way. The first step is identifying the problem. Under this stage, a problem will be identified. And in this context, for example, we have a situation where nurses are experiencing needle pricks by accident. And therefore, to ensure that these needle pricks are avoided, policies may be developed on how a particular nurse or health worker can handle his or her needles whilst waking. And therefore, identification of a problem becomes so paramount, without which there will be no policy developed. So this stage involves determining how aware the public is of the issue. In this regard, health workers deciding who will participate in fixing it, and considering what means are available to accomplish a solution. So all in all, the first stage is identifying the problem. The second stage is the stage of formulating a policy in order to resolve an existing problem. After which, the third stage is implementing the policy. And this is a stage at which a new policy must be put into effect, meaning it needs to be operationalized. The fourth stage is a stage of evaluation. During this phase, the policy is evaluated in terms of its effectiveness in abating the problem that was identified. So all in all, we have 4 critical stages. Methods of policy analysis are a lot, and in this session, we'll focus on a few. The first method is known as needs assessment. This is a method in which needs that could have been identified are assessed as to if they have been met or not. So needs are assessed, which were identified in the development of a policy, and therefore their being met is the ultimate outcome. Secondly, cost-benefit analysis. In this regard, the cost that was used to formulate a policy is weighted against the benefit of having such a policy in place. Then, apart from this, the other method or analysis that can be used is cost effectiveness. It's a similar questions to the previous analysis, but in this regard, it's an evaluation between the cost and the effectiveness of a policy that has been developed. The other method that can be used are studies, and in this regard, outcome studies can be used. Outcome studies over a long period of time, and this can also be married with case studies. For example, in this case, an example that has been given, it's the analysis of the impact of the Zambian health policy on access to health. So this is done over a long period of time with a particular grouping of individuals who are beneficiaries being assessed. The last method is known as the meta-analysis. This provides a larger expanse at which a policy is analyzed. And therefore, policy development becomes so critical. Remember, the definition of a policy is basically a guideline. Secondly, there are particular stages of how a policy is developed. Then apart from that, it's also important to remember the methods that are used in analyzing particular policies. Thank you for spending time watching this video. Forget not to subscribe and share the video with your colleagues. Stay tuned to this channel as there will be a lot of videos that are educational across subjects that will be posted. Thank you, and subscribe to this channel.